Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Real Sports Updates here. Back again with another video. So let's jump into it. Let's get busy. Gerald Everett will have a breakout season for the Chargers in 2022. And this is the acquisition that I think has been most under the radar for the Chargers. Gerald Everett is a guy, he really has not reached his full NFL potential yet. Um, and there are a number of reasons why. Number one, he has not played with a quarterback who I believe has been able to elevate him as a tight end. Now, I'm sure that there is things that he probably could have done better, right? There's things that he probably could have worked on, to kind of push himself, over the edge a little bit to kind of, maximize his opportunities that he's had so far. But I think for the most part, it's been, not necessarily the situations haven't been all that bad, but the offenses in which he's has played, they really have not featured him. So he was the 44th overall pick in the draft in 2017, obviously by the Rams. And the for whatever reason, as good as the Sean McVay offense is, as good as the Rams offense is, and as good as they have been since he's got there, they really have not. The one thing that they haven't done very well is really feature a tight end, right? Really have a dominant tight end, right? There have been games where tight ends have had good games. But overall, as far as a season goes, an entire season goes, that's the one thing that the Sean McVay offense and the Rams, they haven't really done. And I think Gerald Everett was kind of a victim of that. Now, he was originally drafted by the Rams, but he ended up playing for the Seahawks last year in 2021. And I think part of the reason is because Gerald Everett is a receiving tight end. The Rams do have a guy in Tyler Higbee. They obviously liked him a lot better than Gerald Everett because Higbee's a little better blocker than Gerald Everett is. But I really don't think that is a big. I don't think it's a big deal. There's a bunch of tight ends in the league now who really don't block all that well because the tight end position has been used, to its maximum ability over the past 20 years, right? There's guys who just don't block very well. They catch passes and they're able to primarily work over the middle of the field, and cause a lot of matchup concerns for defense. But Gerald Everett has not been featured in that role. Last year was his best season, but he was still, he's playing with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson got injured. Can't remember what week it was, but he missed a considerable amount of time. So, he was playing, as Geno Smith was with his quarterback for, a considerable amount of time last season. And the Seahawks, they really just didn't, they didn't have the season that they wanted to. And, there's a lot of other reasons, you can go deep, you can do a deep dive into why the Seahawks weren't good last year, while their offense really wasn't good last year. But it was the same type of offense that, Gerald Everett had in LA. Shane Waldron was the offensive coordinator. He was a assistant under Sean McVay. So it's the same offense pretty much. Same offense that really didn't feature him. And, I think by him signing with the Chargers, I think he's looking for a breakout season. The Chargers are looking for a breakout season as well, too. The Chargers tight end position has not been a position of strength, right? Since Antonio Gates, kind of left his prime, and that was some time ago. Hunter Henry was supposed to be the heir apparent to Antonio Gates, and he was fine. I was one of those guys. I was not a big Hunter Henry fan because he just didn't. He didn't do it for me. Like he just wasn't good enough. He wasn't the biggest guy. He also wasn't the fastest guy. And there wasn't really anything that he was elite at. He was just kind of a average tight end. And I was saying that years ago when a bunch of Charger fans were like, "Oh, Hunter Henry's so great," and he has turned out to be a pretty average tight end. He was he's average for the Chargers, and now he's been average for the Patriots as well. So just an average guy. But I think Gerald Everett has the tools. I think he has the physical makeup to be a really good tight end, possibly a top 10, top 12 tight end in the league. And that just depends on how the Chargers use him. Right now, like I said, last year was Gerald Everett's best season with the Seahawks. 2021, right? He had 48 receptions, 478 yards, and 4 touchdowns, and that's with multiple games as with Geno Smith at quarterback. So those numbers are not that bad, all things considered. Now, Gerald Everett is not a speed tight end. He is pretty much prototypical size, like 6'4", 240, whatever. But he's not a speed tight end. But what he does have, he has the ability to work over the middle of the field. He has the athleticism. He has some wiggle to his game, where he is able to get free, right? If he is, running a route up against a safety, he's got enough wiggle to get free, right, and present a pretty good target for, Justin Herbert to hit him, downfield. Particularly on third downs, right? He's a big body guy. He's physical, and that is a guy that you want to target on third downs if you can, right? If he's a guy that can get open. But I think he will have a breakout season, and I think the offense has been looking for this offense, just in general. The Chargers offense in general has been looking for the guy, since Antonio Gates left his prime, and that's been a long, long time ago. And Gerald Everett is a guy who can do that, and I think that he will, right? All things considered, right? If he stays healthy, right? If he does not have the Jared Cook drop problem, if those things are eliminated, then I think he is a guy that can put the Chargers offense over the edge, because this makes defenses think, it makes linebackers think, it makes safeties think, it kind of makes people come up in the box, right? And then you're able to go deep, you're able to go down the field, you're able to have one-on-ones, right, with Mike Williams down the field, with Jalen Guyton down the field. You're able to get these one-on-ones with a tight end, working the middle of the field and having some attention on him, especially on the crucial third downs, right? 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. This guy is going to be a target, and I think he is going to be a weapon for the Chargers this season. So, this, like I said, this is his first time playing with an elite quarterback, in my opinion, right? Russell Wilson was not elite last year, and despite the injury and all that stuff, he was not elite last year. And I've went over it. There's a video that I did last month about the Broncos being overrated, and a lot of that has to do with Russell Wilson being overrated. But you can go back and watch that if you want. But this is his first time playing with an elite quarterback. Justin Herbert is not going to miss a lot of throws to him, so he is going to get a lot of targets, and he's going to get a lot of action. And I expect him to come up big for the Chargers this season. Now, the one thing that Gerald Everett does really, really, really well, and I think this is the thing that will put him over the top, right? I think he just needed more targets, and I think he needed more receptions. But the one thing that he does really well, and the one thing that I wanted to highlight in this video, is the physical nature of Gerald Everett after he catches the ball, right? He only had 478 reception yards last season, right? Of those 478 receiving yards that he had last season, 249 yards after contact. So more than half of his receiving yards came after contact. So he is a guy, he can catch the ball in the middle of the field. He can not only work the middle of the field, but you're going to have to bring it to get him down on the ground, right? You're not going to arm tackle him down on the ground. He's going to run past you and pick up more yardage. So this is a very, very, very important thing when it comes to tight ends and bigger wide receivers as well, too, right? You want that yak yardage because, if you are catching balls for 3 yards and you're getting tackled, it really doesn't do a whole lot as far as, your offense goes. It really doesn't, put anything in the defense's mind to say, hey, we need to watch this guy a little more. But the yak yards are going to put him over the top. And as accurate as Justin Herbert is, and as lethal as this offense is going to be, right? You're not going to be able to really key in on one position. There's going to be guys who can, beat you from a bunch of different areas, right? Receivers, tight ends, running backs. There's going to be guys who can beat you from all of the skill positions. So you can't really key in on one position. this guy have being as physical as a runner as he is after catching the ball is really really going to set this offense up for a lot of success. And I think this particular skill that he has will be very crucial in the red zone, right? Being able to catch 8-yard passes, right? Being able to break tackles and potentially get into the end zone, right? Or having a goal to go and things like that. A physical nature, bringing a physical nature from that position is really going to bode well for the Chargers. It's going to bode well for Justin Herbert, and it's going to make Justin Herbert's job a lot easier as well too. That's the one thing Jared Cook did not do very well, right? Aside from his drop problem, and it's not even really a thing. I'm not even really taking shots at him. Jared Cook, he's had a wonderful career, all things considered. Been in the league for a very long time. Doesn't run as well as he used to. And he is not the most fleet-footed guy, especially at the tight end position. And it was kind of a issue last year, right, for the Chargers, for him, catching passes, not being able to really break tackles, not really being able to get into the open field very often. That's the issue that has been solved, and I'm glad that the Chargers went the route of a semi-established veteran in the league, as opposed to going, into the draft and getting a rookie tight end who not only has to learn the new offense, but learn just the nature of the NFL, right? This is Gerald Everett's, this is going to be his 6th year, right? So he knows how the NFL works. He knows what is expected of him as far as practice goes. He knows what's expected of him just from the professional standpoint, right? He knows what the NFL is about. So, all he has to do is come in, learn this offense, right? Get familiar, gain chemistry with Justin Herbert, gain chemistry with the other all other offensive guys, offensive lines and stuff, so that's really all he needed to do. He understands what the NFL is about, and I think once he steps on the field, he is going to be able to showcase what he can do. And the eyes of the league are going to be on the Chargers now. There's 5 primetime games. All the talent on this team, everybody is talking about them. I seen Peter King has the Chargers as his number 2 team in the entire NFL behind the Bills. So there's going to be a lot of eyes on the Los Angeles Chargers now, and I think this is where Gerald Everett is really going to shine. I believe he signed a 1-year deal with the Chargers, so it is really incumbent upon him to really have a breakout season, because all that's going to do is make him money, right? And whether it's the Chargers, possibly deciding to re-sign him next offseason, or, another team really coming in and giving him an offer he can't refuse. But either way, this is a money season for Gerald Everett. So I expect really, really big things from him. I expect him to immerse himself in the offense. I expect him to have a lot of chemistry with Herbert. And I expect him to be a very, very, very big target on 3rd down. And obviously the 4th downs that Brandon Staley is going to decide to go for, might not be as many as last year, but he'll definitely go for it on 4th down. So this guy is going to be a target, and I think he's going to play a pivotal role in the offense. And hopefully he's able to stay healthy, and productive this season, because he's got the tools to really be a like I said, potentially a top 10 tight end in this league, right? But hopefully he puts it all together, because he showed some signs last season, and it wasn't the ideal situation for anybody to be in. That Seahawks team was dysfunctional. There was a lot of finger pointing, quarterback and Pete Carroll, and the defense, and the front office, the general manager. There's a whole bunch of crap going on in the Seahawks organization. So for him to get out of there, for him to be in a much, much, much better situation now with a much better quarterback, and a much better offense, I think he is going to benefit from this big time. And ultimately, I think the Chargers are going to be able to benefit from his production big time as well, too, because he's another guy that you have to worry about on this offense. So, we'll see how it turns out, when the season starts. I expect him to, probably get some preseason reps, in this new offense and stuff. But like I said, I think he's going to ball out this year, and I think it is going to be his breakout season. So when he's balling, remember this video. Remember you watch this video, and remember me telling you that this dude is going to ball. But that's pretty much all I got for this video, guys. Just wanted to touch on Gerald Everett for a little bit. touch on him and touch on his potential that he's going to have in this offense. I'm extremely excited about it. So that's all I got for this one. Please subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed yet. To see a lot of people watch this channel who have not subscribed, please subscribe. I have much more content coming out. Please don't forgive me. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up on the way out as well too. Thank you guys for all your support, all the comments, all the likes, all of the engagement on the videos. Really appreciate it. You guys make me want to keep putting out more content, more good content. So I can't thank you guys enough. But that's all I got for this one, guys. I'm signing off now, and I will see you later.